That would be lovely.
Oh, I'll take that, Natasha.
Or for someone to sit at
Thing, yeah. But at least it was before the power outage.
Yeah, we lost the power. We actually stayed for the weekend.
Yeah.
We lost the power at 10:30 in the morning
Yeah,
after
right.
the second
Yeah,
pot of coffee.
we know.
was
Yeah,
made, so
same
that's
thing.
good. It's like, yes, we got the second pot of coffee. And the,
Hello, Liz. I'm doing fine. How about you? Well, of course. How are you doing?
I stopped to see Ready.
Right here.
Oh my darling.
You're not going down. I'm not going down there. You don't have to. Okay. I'm not going down there.
just now over there.
Oh, so you believe it?
Just checking the volume. Test, test. Mike, thank you all for coming. And welcome to the Voluntown Peace Trust. My name is Jim McBride. I'm a member of the Land Stewards group here at the farm. And I can't say how happy we all are that you showed up to commemorate this garden with Cal Robertson. Dick is doing kindly for us for that. I've been asked, is this an herb garden, vegetable garden, flower garden? What kind of garden is this? And this is a peace garden. You got to answer your question over there. We are growing a little bit of everything here. Growing some tolerance, growing some educated mind, and flowers and vegetables and herbs. Program-wise, I've asked a few people to have a few words regarding the history of this garden and Cal Robertson himself. And we also have, to start our program, the All Souls UU Unitarian Church from New London choir to give us a piece.
Go
live here many years ago in the late 1970s. I live in Norwich now, and I'm very active with Voluntown Peace Trust and Cooperative for Nonviolent Action. But just a brief, I promise, brief history here is that the Committee for Nonviolent Action came to this community in 1960 to protest the building of Polaris submarines. And it began that work that Cal has so committedly continued. And in June of 1962, this farm was bought when they made a commitment to stay here in this community rather than come protest and leave. That they wanted to have real roots in this community. And where we are now was a 4-story barn. So besides this bottom part, there were 3 more stories here. And the Community for Nonviolent Action was very engaged in not only anti-nuclear weapons work here in the community, but organized many events, including growing out of here, actually growing out of a discussion at the Hygienic Restaurant in New London, for those of you who know New London, was the San Francisco to Moscow walk. And then this barn became a place for them to kind of have their materials as kind of an extended office space. And as the Vietnam War grew, so did opposition to that war grow by people here. But really here on this property reflected very much that division in the country, that there were people who were very opposed to the war who lived here, and there were people in the community who really thought that they were communists and needed to be gotten rid of. And there was a kind of a campaign of harassment in many ways against the folks here. But as pacifists, as people committed to nonviolence, they never retaliated. They welcomed people with open arms. They never fled. But sadly, in 1967, arsonists burned this barn and almost the entire house. It was that someone woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning and realized that it was really bright from that window out there. And they all woke up and ran out and had to hose down the house. It was old siding there, which actually melted in order to keep the house from burning. But they lost everything. They lost all the archives from the San Francisco to Moscow walk. They lost a lot of their history. But they didn't lose their spirit, and they kept going. Someone did ask earlier, 1 year later, there was a Minuteman attack on the house where there was an actual shootout in the house. And again, because of their commitment to nonviolence, the folks helped give support to the families of those Minutemen who ended up in prison for their acts of violence against folks here. So I think that's always something to remember. And as Jim said, it's kind of out of the ashes here. Grows a community still, 51 years later, 50 years next year for a celebration of this particular property. So out of the ashes grows both this peace garden, but also 52 years of presence here, very much on a daily basis, seen by what Cal does.
Thank you, Joanne. It's an honor to be asked to speak on this occasion, and I think it's very appropriate that the choir sang Dona Nobis Pacem, because I think of that in connection with the Hartford Catholic Workers' yearly witness at the sub-base and the Stations of the Cross every Good Friday, and that is one of the musical accompaniments to the stations as we walk along the fence of the base. And of course, Cal is there daily, week by week. And for those of us who are in the area, it's our honor to be able to stand with him either in New London, in downtown New London, or at the sub-base. And so much of the time he does it as a personal witness, not as a protest, but as a witness. And he's very clear about that, and he's helped, I think, the rest of us be very clear about that. And the witness that's been carried on those Good Fridays have included members of the Hartford Catholic Workers and their extended family who've been arrested with Cal, our extended family, including Emmett, who I know is here today as well. All the people who have continued that witness and that pilgrimage over this extraordinary period of time where it's be so easy to be discouraged. The principalities and powers are real. Cal is the one who every time he calls me, whatever it may be, he says, keep your eyes on the prize. And as something with which to end a conversation, I mean, you can only say amen. Thank you.
My name is Paul Hayes, and I do as well consider it a great privilege to be here and having have the opportunity to honor Cal and his ongoing witness. And I particularly like the setting here because peace is a matter of planting seeds, and it's a matter of cultivating nonviolence, and it's a matter of, in effect, with the walls around us, the foundation of our lives. And Cal has witnessed that in so many occasions, in so many ways for us, even though most of us would say Cal has a quiet, meek, sometimes silent witness. But Cal's witness for peace, for me, happens in a couple of ways. It happens not only in terms of him standing up with his signs that war is not the answer, something that we continually need as a society to be reminded of, perhaps even we who are peacemakers. On a weekend such as this, when so many find reasons to justify violence, it's important for us to be reminded that we have to stand up for peace even in the midst of violence. So Cal does that all so well, daily. But perhaps the thing that has impressed me most in the years that I've known Cal is that the peace that really flows from his life comes from within. Rarely have I met a man or any person who can take verbal abuse and attacks from people he does not even know by name or have no reason to attack him, but do so on a regular basis, and yet he returns with a response of gentleness and mercy. And that is something that I sometimes wonder if I could do. And Cal's witness is extraordinary. There are very few people that I know that don't truly respect what Cal does and who Cal is. Even if they may disagree on the politics, even if they may disagree with his approach or where he stands, they will respect him as a person, as we all do. And Cal, he's come here, and I recognize the fact that in your humility, you say, you don't need this recognition. I know. But I'll tell you, we need it. We need it because of who you are and what you represent, because you often represent even what is best from us. And we're so delighted to have a way of planting seeds along with you. So, bless you.
So it gives me a great deal of pleasure to welcome you all here on behalf of this wonderful organization that I'm part of. Cal, thank you. Thank you for giving us this moment. I'm very lucky to be a New London resident, so I get a chance to see you and honk my horn whenever I see you on that corner. And I also know that you've been either at that monument or on that corner for 25 years, inviting people into a communication, into a conversation about peace. And you know, for that I absolutely salute you, and I just think it's a real honor to have you here, and have you in my community in London. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I guess, you know, for me, as someone involved 7 years, but we continue that work, and the ways that we like to do it is to invite people into conversations about peace too. And we do it through education work on what is nonviolence, how can you get involved in a nonviolent direct action campaign, how can you talk about sustainability, how can you live sustainability, how can you build a beautiful organic garden, and that is the kind of work that goes on here. And it's those kind of opportunities that I want to talk about with this organization, to have a little
as you've noticed, we're a little loose around here. No formalities. If there's anyone else that would like to speak on Cal's behalf, feel free, please.
It's not available right now. All right. Cal from Noank Baptist Church. I support what he does because he's out doing something positive. I've run into a number of people in my life that were in Vietnam, and they were so marked by Vietnam they turned to booze or drugs, and they have no value to anybody. One of my fraternity brothers was in Vietnam as a Navy officer, and my 45th college reunion last year, he talked about all the terrible things that happened. And I remember when he got back from Vietnam, he was not the same fraternity brother that he was that I knew in college. But what he did, he got very involved with Veterans for Peace, and they started raising money to try to help out people in Vietnam, Cambodia, and he turned back into the same guy. By doing something positive, it turned him around. And this looks like a fairly encouraging movie. I would suggest if you haven't read it already, you should read the book by Kennedy, who was a professor at Princeton, The Rise and Fall of the Great Powers. And when you read through that, it begins with the Chinese power. They used to be a powerful country. The Chinese, to the French, to the Spanish, to the Portuguese, to the British, and the United States. And it's a very interesting book. It's available in paperback. Rise and Fall of the Great Powers by Kennedy, professor at Princeton. The other book that kind of goes with that was written by one of my college classmates, Bob Hormack. The name of the book is What Christ Liberated. He starts with the revolution in the 1700s and how our national leaders tried to pay for whatever wars they got into as they went. And he points out when George Bush invaded Iraq, however many years ago that was, he stopped that process and figured it was much easier just to borrow money from the Chinese. And that is tied in with the first book I mentioned, The Rise and Fall of the Great Powers.
Anyone else?
I know that Cal wants us to sing this song. I know it because this is what he tells us all about. Paul and Silas, they were bound in jail. They had no money to go their way. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on, hold on.